Hello everyone and welcome back to the Belgian Beer Brothers channel. Today is day 2 of the Toer de Geuze. I am still Cedric and today fate has decided that we are gonna taste and talk about the Oude Geuze Cuvée, or the Old Geuze blend of brewery the Troch, as we see right here. It's a rather light Geuze, it's only 5.5% ABV, but first we are gonna talk a bit about the brewery itself, because the Troch has quite an interesting story. This time the Troch is just a family name, and I do believe this is one of the oldest breweries, but at least one of the oldest Geuze breweries in Belgium. In 1795 the farm, het Hof, the yard, was purchased in the summer by Johannes Franciscus de Troch, and we don't really have records about what the activities were before that, but our earliest record that we found was from 1820, so 25 years after the acquisition. And in 1820 the records state that it was a farm, a chicory roast and a brewery, so there was already some brewing activity. Just like many breweries back in that time, it was combined, a farm that also brewed. What I find interesting is that it was also a chicory roast, and for those who don't know, in Belgium we have a lot of chicory. We also call it white gold here. And a chicory roast is where they take the roots of the chicory, they dry it, they roast it, and it's actually an alternative for coffee, very popular during the World Wars because there was a coffee shortage. Then in 1830 Josephus Petrus de Troch, or Peter, the son, took over, and in 1832 we have records that state the brewery was a brewery with 2 kettles, 2 keefs and 2 cooling vessels. So they actually expanded the brewery part, and there was no longer anything to be found about the chicory roast, so probably they sold that. Then in somewhere around 1880, 1879, they expanded the brewery and they built a brand new brew house. Probably because there was another takeover from father to son, and they were selling a lot of beer to local farms, to local towns, and the sales just kept growing. Then after that, in 1889 and in 1936, the farm was passed on from father to son a few more times, and in 1974 the moment came that the owner of that time, Louis, the second Louis de Troch, had no children, and to keep it in the family he passed it on to a cousin, his sister's son. And 1974 was also the year that they stopped all farming activities. So for almost 200 years they kept farming while they were brewing. And in 1974 they stopped doing that, and they expanded the brewery a little bit more under leadership of Jos Raas. Now in 2002 Jos Raas' son Paul joined the business, and it's all uphill from there. They make a whole bunch of beers. They were the first brewery to combine lambic with exotic fruits. They have a bunch of fruit beers, and let me take a list here. They have lemon, they have exotic, they have Kriek, the classic, they have apricot, mirabelle, which is plum, banana, peach, strawberry, raspberry, and I'd see them experiment with some other fruits in the future as well. Next to that they have all these beers are brewed under the name Chapeau, like a hat. And they also have a Chapeau Geuze, which won some prizes in 1995. But they also have the Chapeau Faro. Faro is a lambic with well, basically with brown sugar. Very popular back in the days, still being made by several breweries. And they also have a Chapeau Geuze, but the one we are gonna taste today is under their own name. It is the Oude Geuze Cuvée de Troch, right here. And I do believe this one won the gold medal at the Brussels Beer Challenge 2012. What does the label tell us? Well, it is a traditional regional product and a guaranteed traditional specialty. And that's actually everything that the label tells us. I do love this bottle cap here. It's a nice cartoony cap, and if I find an image of it, I will add it over there. But I believe it is time to open it up and to have a taste. Again, a traditional cap. A very stubborn cap. And a cork underneath. It's also a very clear geuze in the bottle. So let's see what this gives when we open it. That's a 1 and a 2. Seems to smell a bit sweeter than yesterday. Also a branded cork. I love branded corks. Here we go. A lot less active than the one we had yesterday, the Lambic Fabrique one. It smells a bit more damp, if I may say so. A lot less activity, a lot less carbonation in there. I see no yeast bubbling up. The smell reminds a bit more of a farm as well. And I already see a difference in color with the one we had yesterday. There's the carbonation. So there wasn't too much pressure on the bottle, but there is some CO2 hidden in there. Tiny, tiny, tiny bubbles. Nothing sticking to the glass. Some off-white foam. Yesterday we had some very, very bright white foam. This is a rather off-white. Large bubbles, so it's gonna disappear or dissipate quite soon. And talking about aromas, this may not sound logical, but it smells a bit dark, a bit damp, a bit like a cellar smell. Some hay. Yeah, a bit horsey. Nothing sour in there, nothing bitter in there. Yeah, smells a bit old. And I don't mean this like putting the beer down, but I mean old as in an old Geuze, not as in bad beer. Foam is almost completely gone. Now let's taste this thing. Yeah, I do get the hay, the straw, the horse, the farm tastes in there. The sourness is in there, but it's not a fruity sourness, it's more an acidic, vinegary sourness. And a very nice, lovely bitter edge at the back of the throat. Just enough carbonation. Also, look at that color. It's again a nice golden yellow straw colored beer leaning towards orange. I love the color of a good Geuze. It's actually pretty thirst quenching as well. The combination of the sharp sourness and the slight bitterness is an awesome combination. When I say bitterness, I don't mean the hoppy bitterness, more like a Campari sort of bitterness, yeah. Okay. All right, I'd say let's leave it at that. Yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, if you want to taste it yourself, go look for it. I believe about 90% of the 4,000 hectoliters that they brew a year is being exported to Japan and to the USA. So yeah, you're most likely to find some of this nice old Geuze. And if you want to see more about this, about the Toer de Geuze or any of my other videos, just like this one, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think of it, and if you found one and you tasted one, yeah, let me know if you think the same about it as I do. That being said, I'm gonna enjoy this a little bit more. I'm gonna empty this bottle, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. Cheers, you guys.